Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Agarwal, PR and content writer at Girlscript Punjab. On the behalf of our regional head, Mr. Amitesh Tiwari, entire core team, and all the chapters, I formally welcome you all again on day 2 of Python Bootcamp. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Sahaj Oberoi, is a Python developer, GirlScript Yay Python mentor, and a YouTuber. In yesterday's session, Mr. Sehaj touched upon all the Python basics, and what was left will be completed today, followed by a project on website blocker. Hope you guys are ready and excited for the same, and as instructed by our mentor yesterday, have installed Python on your systems. So without taking any more of your time, let's get started. Over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you, Tanya, again for the introduction. And guys, I hope you have, basically revised your basics that were covered yesterday, and you also have Python installed in your system. Even if you don't have Python installed, what you can do is you can just make note of things that will be discussed today, and then when you install Python in your system, then you can basically try out the things that we will be doing today. All right. Now again, if you need to know how you can install Python in your system, how you can use a code editor in your system, then I have a Python tutorial playlist for complete beginners. So um, let me just share my screen once. Amitesh, can you add the screen to the telecast, live telecast? Right. So, I have a playlist on my channel for, complete beginner tutorials for Python. So, even I have told how you can install Python. And in the second or third video, we have basically also seen what is the default code editor, which we will be using today as well, which is Python idle. Okay. So, it's the default code editor that comes along with the Python installation. So you can check the playlist. I'll be adding more videos related to Python mainly, and I'll try to bring more podcast as well. So talking about today's session, so we will be doing today's session on our own system, right? So basically we will be using Python idle. So considering that you already have Python installed in your system, so what you can do is you can just search idle on your search bar, and then you'll get something like this. So I have 3 Python installed in my system currently, Python versions basically. So I mostly use 3.7 because most of the packages are already installed in it. So yeah, so this is what you get when you open a Python idle, right? So to create a new file, just click on new file, and then you just have to save it somewhere on your PC. Okay. So currently I have already created a file for this workshop. So I'll just open it. Okay, so if you want to open an already existing Python file using Python idle, so what you have to do is you just have to hover over this, right click, and you will always get an option edit with idle. Okay, so this is another way of opening Python idle. So just click here, edit with the whatever version of Python you want to edit. So I selected Python idle 3.7. Okay, now the main things will start here. So I'll just quickly give you an overview of this interface. So just a second. Yeah. So here you have all the options to save the file, and here you have like undo, redo options, edit, normal edit options. Here you have the format options, like what's your default indentation and stuff like that. So mostly the default indentation is always 4 spaces, or the tab number of spaces. So the number of spaces you get when you click on the tab button on your keyboard. Okay, then here is the run option. So you can run your Python file using this button, or you can click on F5, which is the shortcut key for running the file. Okay, and here you have options and windows help. So this is a very basic overview of the interface of this code editor. So just to familiarize more, if you want to print anything and want to run a Python file, basically I'll just show you that. So welcome to the workshop. Okay, so if I run this now, so either I can press F5 or I can just click from this option. So it will ask you to save it, and then when you save it you will get this window, Python shell window, where you will get your output for the code that you have written. All right, so yesterday we had discussed basics of loops as well, and we had discussed a lot of things like operators, data types, loops, and stuff like that was basically discussed yesterday. So I'll just touch only one data structure for now, of Python, that is list. Okay, because it will be required for our current um, class, like the current project that we will be making. So let me, before that, let me just show you what we will be actually making today. So the project name is a website blocker. Okay, so it basically, as the name suggests, it is used for blocking a particular website. Okay, so here is the code for it, but we cannot really run from the Python idle this file. That the reason for that you will know by the end of this session, because uh, I cannot reveal it at this moment, obviously. So I'll let you know the reason behind this later. So another way of running Python files is through command prompt. Okay, so we will open command prompt to run this particular Python file because of some reason that will be told you later. Okay, so I have to run this command prompt on run as administrator. Okay, run as administrator. Yeah, now it's all right. Now we need to pass this location. So I'll copy this location from here. CD. So CD is basically change directory command. So you just write CD keyword on command prompt, and then you provide the path where you want to, you want the current directory to be. So just press enter and you can see earlier our current directory was this. Okay, now our current directory is this one. So our Python file is here, which I want to demonstrate, like the project that we will be making by the end of this session. So first of all, let me show you that this particular website is running right now. Okay, this website biz30.timedoctor.com. Okay, this is some random website that I selected for an example, for showing you all an example. Now when I run my Python file, right, so there will be, and when I run my Python file, so the idea about this whole project is that when you are basically working, we often get distracted. Okay, so let's say we are studying something online. Okay, either on youtube or even online classes, so we often get distracted, we do something else, right? So to avoid getting distracted, what you can do is, for example, you mostly get distracted by watching something on youtube or even Netflix. So Netflix website, I mean, in this case. So what you can do is you can just block that website for particular hours. Okay, so for example, mm, at this moment it's almost 4:10 p.m. So I will mention the time here, 16, and let's say 18. Okay, so it basically means I want to block a particular website between the time 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Okay, and which website I have to block? I have to block this particular website, which I showed you that currently this particular website is actually running. Okay, as you can see, this particular website is actually running right now, but we will block this website with the help of Python code. So I'll explain the whole code step by step. We will write each line step by step, so don't worry. I'm just demonstrating what will be the output of our project. Okay, so if I write Python and the file name, so now if I run this, So it shows working hour because we mentioned that between 4 to 6 p.m. it's our working hour. Okay. So let's say you have an online class at that particular time. So it says working hour. Now, if let me just stop this program. Okay. And now let me try to run that particular, open that website particularly. Okay. So now if I run this, open this website, I have put the same URL. Okay. Exactly the same URL. But you can see that this website is not working right now. And why is this not working? It's because of our own code. Okay. We have basically written our code in such a way that our particular website, the website that we have mentioned in our Python script only those websites will be particularly blocked between the time that we have mentioned. All right. So I feel that it's a pretty interesting and cool project, and it doesn't really require a lot of knowledge. Okay. It will be covered by just the basics that we already know, and some basics of file handling also, which I'll be starting now. Okay. So this is the overview of the project that we will be making by the end of this session. And now let's start with the basics. So um, let's minimize this and let's start the code. So yesterday I had told you about list, right? Now I'll be basically telling you about, sorry, yesterday we had done loops. Now I'll be doing list. So list is a type of data structure in Python. Okay, so as the name suggests, again, it's it's like a list of items. Okay, you have a list and you have some data or items present inside that list. Okay, so just for example, in real life you can compare it with a grocery list. Okay, or you can say, for example, you are getting your house painted, or basically renovation is being done. So the carpenter or the painter basically gives you a list of items that have to be brought by you to do the stuff, right? So similarly, is the list in Python. Okay, and if you are familiar with other programming languages like C, C++, Java, then you can compare Python list with arrays in those languages. Okay, so Python list and arrays are exactly the same. Just a moment, guys. I have an important call to take. Sorry for disturbance, guys. So basically, I was saying that, uh, yeah, Python list, right? So for example, I write x is equal to this. Okay, and this basically is a list. Okay, this opening and closing of square brackets is a list. Now we have to put some data inside it. So what type of data can we put inside it? It can be anything. It can be a string, in an integer, a float value, or a boolean value. You can put any type of data inside a list. Okay, so let me just show you an example. So let me say Sahaj Oberoi Python 1 2 3 4, some integers, some float values, boolean value as well. So if I try to print this list, so let's see what we get. Our list basically gets printed as it is. Okay, so basically the point to show was that you can type, you can enter any type of data inside a Python list, and even different type of data can coexist together in a particular list. So that's something which is not common in other languages like C++. You can only have one type of data inside an array, but in Python list you can have any type of data even together. So now let's take example of a grocery list, as I told you earlier. So grocery list, and we can write for example, let's just discard grocery list. Let's just move on to the main thing, right? Let's mention some websites which we want to block. So let one of those websites be this only, base30.timedoctor. Mm, and make sure that you don't have to write https and stuff like that. You just have to write www.facebook.com, for example. So www.facebook.com. So for example, we want to block only these websites when we are working. Okay, so this is another example of just creating a list. Okay, so yeah. And now if you want to add some more items in this list, okay, so how you can do it, you can like write websites.append, and here you can pass another website like www.twitter.com. Let's think for example. So as you can see, originally websites is only containing two items, okay, but now since I have appended the third item as well, so when I print websites, you can see that three items are present inside the website, like the list website. So and we have one another very important thing about Python list. So each item can be accessed, um, each item can basically be accessed by indices. Okay, so index is basically that each item is given a particular number. Okay, so the very first item of the list is always given 0. Okay, 0. The second item is given 1, and the third item is given 2, fourth item 3, fifth item 4. So indices work like that. They start from 0 and they start from the very first item, and this is how indices are in Python. So you can use these indices to basically access a particular item of the list. And similarly, if we want to start the list from the end, so for example, you have a long list, you have a large list of almost 1,000 items, but you want to only get the last five values, and you don't know the exact number of items that are present inside the list. So what you do, you can use a reverse indexing. So reverse indexing is like you have -1. Okay, so considering only these two examples, like we have a list of only two items, so the last item will have -2, the second last item will have uh last will have -1, the second last item will have -2, the third last item will have -3, the fourth last item will have -4, and this goes on till the first item. Okay, so this is the reverse indexing. So any type of indexing can be used to access a particular item from the list. So I'll show an example for this as well. So let me put it here for now. Okay, so the list has three items for now, and let's add more examples so that it's even more it's even more understandable for you guys. So we have these many items inside our list, right? And if we want to access, let's say this, okay, this particular item, then what we can do is we can write the list name. Okay, the list name, and after the list name we have to write opening and closing of square brackets. Okay, and inside these square brackets we need to enter the index of the item which we want to access. Okay, so index for this particular item can either be 0, 1, sorry, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it can either be 4 or it can be -1. So -2. So we can use both of these indices, either -2 or 4, to access 21.2435. Okay, so if I write -2 here, which is more convenient in this case because it's easier to count, so you can see that we get the correct output. And similarly, if I write 4 here, okay, that is the positive indexing or normal indexing, so then also we get the same answer. Okay, so this is just an overview about list in Python. Now, what if we want to print all the items of this list one by one? Okay, so how we can do that? So for that we obviously need a loop. Okay, now what type of loop? So you can either use for loop or you can use um, while loop as well. There is no restriction for loop, but to basically print all the items, let's say, or access all the items one by one, for loop is relatively more convenient, or easier to use. So the syntax for loop that I told you yesterday was for keyword, then a variable name, an in, and then some iterable. Okay, so a list is also an iterable. The range function was also an iterable. As if you remember from yesterday's class, range also was kind of a list of numbers only. Okay, a range of numbers. So it's also an iterable. Okay, and similarly, list is also an iterable. Iterable is anything that which can be iterated. Okay, over which you can run a loop. So since these have this list has a lot of items, so this can also be iterated, right? So if I write the list name here, websites, and here I write only website. Okay, so notice this is websites, okay, plural, because the list name is websites, and this is singular, website only. Okay, and now if I print website, we will get all the websites, as you can see, like all the items of the list, basically one by one. Yeah, so what is happening here? So basically, when the loop runs for the very first time, so basically for the first iteration, website is equal to the 0th item, 0th index of the list. So this particular item gets printed. Okay, so basically all the lines that are present here will be executed. Since we have only one line, so only this will be printed. Now, what will happen? This command, the command from here will go to here again. Okay, and the website will move on to the next item. So website is equal to facebook.com at this point. So this will also be printed since we have only one statement to execute. Again, the command will shift to here. Okay, and it will move on to the next item, and this will keep on happening till all the light items are basically accessed by this variable website. Okay, till all the items are accessed in the list by this variable website, this variable website. Okay, so that's basically the overview how you can access all the items present inside a list using for loop. All right, now let's just go over to basics of file handling, and there is another package called datetime, so we will get an overview about that as well. Okay, so I will not go into depth of datetime library because of shortage of time. So the syntax for datetime is, like, I'll be teaching only the amount of things that you need to know for the project that we are about to make. Okay, so syntax is from datetime, import datetime. Okay. Now, since this is a large name, datetime is a large name, and I am a bit lazy, I can provide an alias for this. Okay. So alias is basically a short name or a nickname. Okay. So I can write as DT. So whenever I want to use the word datetime, which is the package name, instead of that, I can use DT. Okay. So it means that this particular thing is referred as this. Okay, this is what this particular thing will mean. Okay, so now if I print dt dot now, so it will basically print the date time for current date time. As you can see, uh 19th December 2020, and date, time is 4 p.m. 27 minutes and 5 seconds, and then it is all the millisecond and stuff which we don't really require, obviously. And now if you want to access individual items out of this particular string, so you can write year if you want to access only the year. Okay, so similarly we can access month also. So month. Okay, so month is December. Now, similarly, we can also access the day and so on. Okay, day. Oh, 1 second. Oh, sorry. Here it should be now, and here it should be day. Yeah. So day basically the date. Okay. So it is 19th today, and hour also I think works. So 16 hour, so basically 4 p.m. Okay, and stuff like that. And if you want to create your own date object, okay, or our own date object, so what how you can do that? So basically you write dt, and then first of all it will take your year. Okay, year. And let's say we want to create a date time object for 1st December. Okay, so month name, month, and then 1st December. Okay, then the time, let's say 2 a.m. Okay, 2 a.m. So 2. Now if I run this, let's see the output. So you can say 2020 year 12, that is December, 1st of December, and 2 a.m. Okay, it is in 24-hour format. So if I want to take 2 p.m., so basically I will write 14 here instead of 2. So 14 here. Okay, now that's all about a date time library that we require for this project. Now we will move on to the file handling basics. Okay, so file handling basics. So the syntax for file handling is you write with open. Okay, the file name, the file name, for example, test.txt, and the mode in which you want to open. So there are 3 4 modes. Okay, one mode is read mode, that is R. You have write mode, you have append mode, you have R plus mode. Okay, you have 4 modes which you can enter here. So let's say we want to first of all uh, do it in write mode. Okay, so test.txt is already here, so let me delete it. Right. So as you can see in this folder, there is no such file as test.txt at this particular moment. Like it was present earlier, but I have deleted it. Right. So now what we will be doing is we will be writing something, and here you have to write as, uh, and again you have to provide a nickname. Okay, so obviously this is a large syntax, so we cannot just keep on using this much thing like this every time we want to use the file name. So we will write as f. Okay, f is short for file only. So now if you want to write something, so again there is no file as test.txt present here right now. Okay, so if I want to write, I just made test.txt using Python. Okay. And if I run this, okay, so no errors. Now if you see, test.txt just popped up, and if you open this, tada, you have the text that you basically wrote using Python. Okay, so I hope this was interesting for you all. So this is how you can create a new file. Now if you want to just delete everything present in the test.txt file already, and you want to delete the previous text whatever was written there, and you want to add a new line of your own self, like you want to change the content, basically delete the whole content and change the content of the existing file. So let me for example write I deleted earlier content. Okay, so let's see what is the output. Okay, so the text.txt was already present here, but earlier it was having I created this the test.txt using Python. But now if you notice, it is actually written I deleted earlier content. Okay, because when you use one second, yeah, for because when you use a write, okay, write command, it basically deletes everything. Oh, I mean, in the write mode, when you use write command, it deletes everything that is present inside an existing file, and then it replaces it with the content that you are writing here. Okay. Otherwise, if this file is not existing at the moment, if that file is not existing, then it creates a new file and writes this content here in that particular file. Okay. Now let's see the append mode. Append mode basically it does not delete the existing content, it just adds the content after it. Okay, so basically at the end of the already existing content it will add some line. So let's write I am the appended content. Okay, and let's run this file. So you can see it shows I deleted earlier content that was present here already, and now I have added another line I am the appended content. So as you can see, uh, we have used write keyword again, but this time it was in append mode. Okay, so that is why we didn't delete the previous content, because the mode was append mode at this moment. Okay, so yeah, now let's see the read mode. Okay, so read mode basically f dot write doesn't work in read mode. Okay, because in the read mode you can only read the file. Okay, it's a read only mode. So if I run this now, you can see unsupported operation not writable, because our mode is read mode. Okay, and in read mode you cannot write anything, you can only read anything, read the content, and you don't have to pass anything here. So let's just print this, print f dot read, and now if I run this, we need to stop this as well. So you can see it just displays the content that is present inside this file. Okay, and similarly it doesn't matter how many lines of content you have. So for example, if I write anything here, I save this file and I run Python code again. Okay, basically I'm reading the content again. So as you can see, this time it showed all the content just the way it is stored in the txt file, it just displayed the same way to us. Okay, so like this is just the overview of file handling in Python. Now you have another function called seed. Okay, so seed uh 10. Okay, so what happens in seed is like uh, 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 one second. I think it's seek, not seed. Sorry, it's seek. It's K here. Okay. So what? Let me just read the file once. Yeah. Now, let me first of all change the mode. So R plus mode is where you can both read and append the file. Okay, both read and append the file simultaneously. So both the f dot read and both f dot write, all both of these commands basically work in this particular mode. So we have read the file. Now if I write seek, okay, and by default, if you don't pass any value, I think it's already always 0. If you pass a value, let's say 10, then what happens is the pointer basically moves to 10th position. Okay, so what I really mean is, for example, this is our file. Okay, this is our file, and when you write f dot seek, so, okay, so the starting position is 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so somewhere here the cursor will move, okay, of the Python. Okay, and whenever you write f dot write now, so if I write f dot write and some content, so it will appear here. Okay, and it will also remove the content next to it, something like this. Okay, something like this. So let me uh don't save this file, and this was the content, right? So just let's just have this one line only. And if I write f dot seek, so it will move up to the 10th position, then it will write something. So let's write f dot write. This is seek. Okay, let's just say we want to write this. So let's run this now, and let's open this file. So you can see at the 10th position, somewhere here was the 10th position. So it wrote I am seek, and then whatever content was coming in place of it, it just replaced that content, and then it yeah, and then it just continued the existing content after it. Okay, so this is the functionality of seek, and this function will also be very necessary when we create our website blocker. Okay, so these were the basics of file handling and datetime library and list also. Okay, now let's just move on to our project. So before that, let me just confirm the path. um, there is a particular file called host file. Okay, host file. So I'll just open that up. It is present in uh, this PC. Then in the C drive you have system32, system32. Oh, sorry, you have Windows. Yeah, Windows and then system32. Yeah, here we have system32, and then you have driver, etc. And here you have the host file. Okay, you have the host file. So let me just open it with Notepad. Yeah, so this is the host file. Okay, and whatever. All right, you already have this. So they have, so in this file, basically, whatever you mention here, like if I mention facebook.com, okay, then the website will get blocked here. Okay, but if you want to make changes right now, for example, I showed you biz30 website, right? biz30.timedoctor.com. So it was put here, which is why the website got blocked. Okay, And if I try to remove it now from here, okay, and if I try to save this file, so you will notice that it doesn't get saved. Uh, because 1 second. Yeah, if I try to save this, it will give me an option of this text file. And if I still try to save it in place of this existing file, then you can see that it shows that you do not have the permission to open this file. See the owner of the file or an administrator to obtain permission. Okay, so basically you cannot directly manually change something in this particular file because of administrator issue. Okay, so this is why when I was running this file, let me click on don't save. Okay, so this is why when I was running this file, um, I was, opening command prompt as run as administrator, so that we do not get this particular error for permission. Okay, so let me just 1 second. Yeah, so I have already created a sample text file. Okay, just same as the original host file. Okay, and I have named it host original. Okay, so I basically just copied the content from there and created a .txt file for the same. Okay, now this time we are just basically trying to do the sample. We are basically trying to you know like our basic task is to copy this, paste it here, and write the website like facebook.com. Okay, this is our task, so that we basically have to write this thing after all of this content, so that our website gets blocked, our Facebook website gets blocked. Okay, so for this purpose, first of all, we will be trying it on a sample file that is present inside this folder only, so that we don't risk anything on the main file. Okay, so first of all, we will test on a sample file, and then after we are successful with this, then we will go on to that particular file, the original file. Okay, so uh, let me close. Don't save it. Okay, so yeah, facebook.com is not present currently, and uh, yeah. So let's assume we have our host file also. So we want to create host here, and we want to add a particular website, right? So let me copy the redirect for it. So redirect URL is this one. So redirect is equal to this. Okay, so this is the redirect URL, that whenever someone opens a particular website like facebook.com, he will be redirected to this particular thing, due to which he gets no connection error or whatever error it you were getting. Basically the website does not open up. So let's also name the website name. Okay, so one was the biz one. Yeah, biz 30 dot, and let's also block Facebook, www.facebook.com. And we do not need the https and stuff, we only need the main domain along with www. All right, so we are attempting for now only on two websites, and before that we will be trying on a sample file. Okay, so our main task is that we will first of all create a host file. Okay, so as you can see, our host file is currently not existing. So first of all, let's just create a host file using this host original file. So kind of what we are doing is we are copying contents from this host original file to a sample host file. Okay, so sample host file, which will be acting just like original for now. Okay, just for now. So host, then we need to write w to create the file. Okay, and we don't need seek, we need only the content. So one second. We obviously need to open host original also. With host, what was the exact name? Host original dot txt. This is containing the original content of the original host. Okay, and we will be only reading this content. This comment is not required. F1, and basically we have indented this also here as F2. F. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to create a host file. Okay, and we want to uh create a host, copy the contents from this file and paste it in this newly created host file. Okay, which we will be creating by running this Python script only. So instead of write, I will write f1 dot read. Okay, so whatever content we get from f1 dot read, that will be written in this new file. Okay, so again, no host file is currently present here, but if I run this now, okay, so successfully ran the file, and you can see that a host file was created. Okay, so I have also basically shown you how you can copy contents from one file to another file, okay, using Python. Now this is done. So now our whole task will be based on uh, the host file only. Okay, so the sample host file. So let me open it r+1 r+ mode, and now our main task is to basically write this thing along with these things. Okay, in separate lines. Okay, so since we need to iterate this, so we will write a loop also. So let's change the name from f2 to f, and we need to write f dot, one second. First of all, we need to iterate. So for website, in websites, okay, and then we need to write f dot write. Okay, so first of all, we need to write the redirect. Then we need to give a space. Okay, and space. Then we need to write the website name. So website, and I think this is it. We also need to write a backslash n here. Backslash n basically means new line. Okay, so to, so that every time we write a new website, it is written in a new line. So for that we have added backslash n also just before we write the redirect along with the website name. Okay, so let's try to run this now. Okay, no errors. Notepad. Okay, no All right, all right. So as you saw, this whole content was actually this whole content basically got written right at the top. Okay, but we don't want at the top, right? We want after this. Okay, we want the content written to be here. So we want this to be actually here, somewhere here. So we need to, that's why you don't directly jump onto the original file, because I almost messed up the file here. So yeah, let's save it. And to basically write these websites right at the end, so for that what you have to do, you have to shift the cursor to the end, right? So for that what we can do is we can write f.seek. Okay, and this f.seek, we want to be we want the cursor to be at the end. So how we can put the cursor right at the end? So for that what we can do is we can read the file also. So f.read. Okay, so this will basically contain the whole content. Okay, and if we find the length of this whole content, in a way we will find the total characters of this whole file. Okay, so if I write this line, this particular thing basically, this len function basically finds out the length of anything that is present inside the parenthesis. Okay, so let me, before this, let me give an example. So if I write print uh, len of length of uh, python, if I run this, you see we get 6. Similarly, f.read will basically contain the whole content of this original file. Okay, and if we find the length of it, we basically get all the characters. So if we use all the whole character length, that is, let's say 500. Okay, if we use that in the seek function, then basically our cursor will come at the end. Okay, it will come right at the end. And now if we run this, so this should probably give us the correct output. So if I open this file again, you can see we got the correct output. But wait, this is still not getting written as correctly. Let's see why. uh, we did seek here. Okay, f dot read. Let me just think of it. Hmm. Okay, the issue is that seek the seek f dot read is basically taking the previous value only. Okay, of this f only, and it is basically not taking the refresh value of when one website is added, it's not taking the new value of the whole character length. So that's the issue, and this can be solved later on. So first of all, what we do is we create the starting time. Okay, so we basically start working on time now, and this will be taken care of later. Okay, so first of all, let's create a date time of the starting time basically, and the ending time. So dt.now.year, dt.now dot month. Okay, let me just copy this much part. Then dt.now dot day. okay, and then the time. Okay, then comes the time. So this has to be given by us only. So for now, the time is almost 5 p.m. So let me enter 12 plus 5, 17, or let's say 16 only. Okay, and similarly ending time, let's take 18. And so this is basically the starting and ending time when we want to start blocking this website, and when we want to end blocking these many websites. Okay, so that's the time for it. Now what we want to do? Okay, so now we basically want to check first of all if this current time is present between these times. Okay, these particular time, starting and ending time. Okay, so for that what we will do is we will write a conditional statement. If dt dot now is present between ending, so if we want to use between, basically we need to do this. Okay, so basically if dt dot now is present between starting and ending. Okay, so we want to uh, print working hours, else print fun hour. Okay, so this is just a testing phase right now, and let me comment the below part. So let's run this. And since the time is 5, so basically almost 17 hour, so this should give us output as working hours. dt is okay, we have not imported uh, dt, so from date time, import date time as dt. Now it should work. So it says working hours. Now let's change the working hours to 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now it will show fun hours to us. So as you can see, fun hours, and earlier it was showing working hours. So our uh, conditions are correct. Now what we have to do? Now this particular code has to come in working hours, right? So working hours, in working hours we will place this whole content, and in the fun hours we basically want our websites to be removed from this host file, right? So for that what we can do is with open, let me just copy from here, with open host original dot txt read f1, and then same line should be copied here. um, we want to delete the previous content and write it over it, right? So instead of this we will write w, not r plus, we will use w mode. Okay, because we want to delete the previous data. So basically what we want is in the fun hours, uh, yeah, so in the fun hours what we want is we remove all of this, because just deleting this particular line is relatively difficult. So what I am thinking is we delete this whole content and we copy the content from this file, okay, this file, and paste it again here. Okay, so for that what I am doing is I am reading this host original.txt, which is not being touched at all, it just has the original data. Okay, and we want to read this data, and in the host file we want to write this data in the fun hours, so that all the websites are removed basically. So we write f2 dot write, and what we have to write, f1 dot read. Okay, I hope all this makes sense. I shall take all of your doubts in a while, right? Okay, so we have written basically the conditions for the basic conditions, right? Now, something is still missing, I guess. Mm, 1 second. Yeah, first of all, we need to write a infinite loop also, so that this script keeps on working, and accordingly, when the time is of fun hours, then it basically removes the data, and when the time is of working hours, it automatically adds the websites and stops our work. Okay, so we need to write an infinite loop also. So while true, then we write this content. Okay, so I think it should be working fine now. And let's add sleep also, or that is not really necessary at this moment. So let us just run the file now. Okay, so currently our host file mm, is normal. It's just like the original file. Okay, and we basically want to um, add the whole thing right at the end. So let's run, and hopefully we will get the correct output this time. uh okay, wrong indentation. Now it should work fine. Okay, since it's infinite loop, we will just want to stop it. Okay, and let's open the host file again. Okay, we have a messed up data. Hmm, let me see. Since working hours was just constantly coming up, so let's also add some sleep. So import time and time dot sleep 3 seconds, let's say. Similarly, here also 3 seconds, and let's now see where our issue is. Okay, so let me just see where our issue is lying. mm, while true, our condition is also fine, absolutely. We have added some sleep also, working hour. We are opening the host file. Okay, we are seeking it inside the loop. I think this should come here. Let's try this thing once. Maybe I'm still wrong, but let's just try it once. So I have refreshed it and we need to um copy the correct file first. Okay. We are almost done. We just need to figure out where we are missing out. Okay, so as you can see, it waits for 3 seconds and then prints working hours. So basically, using time dot sleep, I am making my code to stop for 3 seconds. Okay, so let me just close it and let's see the host file now. Okay, little better result. Base 30 time dot doctor is coming again and again, and facebook.com is also coming, but base 30 is coming a lot of times, so we need to figure out why this is happening. mm, 1 second. Yeah, coming back to it. The condition is correct with open r plus as a len f dot read. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so let's just break this code. Let's say we are starting from scratch. um, at this point we have the original data. Let's say this is the original data, and f dot seek takes us here at this point. Okay, where I have put the yellow dot. F dot seek takes us here. Then we have written f dot write slash n plus this. So the sorry. So the baseline will come here. Baseline will come here. Then the main thing, let's see what, then we are lacking somewhere. So yeah, we were here. So website moves to the base part. It writes the base part. So we are here. Then it the website goes to facebook.com and it writes the redirect and the website. We are probably doing it fine, but somewhere we are still lacking. What if I write it here once again? Okay, I think I now know why this is happening. Yeah, so the reason behind this is why we are like we are getting the correct output right now. As you can see, we are getting the correct output. This is written one time perfectly. This is also written one time perfectly. This is some anonymous data that is coming, which is also written in correct way. But the reason behind this is that when we basically write it once, okay, when we write it once, this again the loop goes to this while, like when we have done till this part, right? So again the condition comes to here while true, okay, and it checks if the condition is true, then it will come to this part, this most part, okay, so it will check this condition. This again is the correct condition, so it will print working hours, it will wait for 3 seconds, it will open the file again, and then take the f.seek and again write those websites again and again. So we are doing fine. We just need to write some condition that if the websites are already present there, then do not write. We need to do something that like that, but I think that can be, at this particular time this is not really required, and I think we are good to go and work it on the original file. All right, so let's try it out on the original file. I think this should work fine in my opinion. So let's just copy the path for that particular file. So let me just copy it from the working demonstrated file only. So this is the path, and yeah, this is the path. So path is equal to this, and we want it to be mentioned here, path, and I yeah, here also we should enter it, path, and I think we are good to go now and try it out on the original file. So let's just hope that this works. So facebook.com, let's try it out. I have not run the file now, so I am just showing that Facebook is working. Okay, Facebook currently is working, but now let's run our code. Okay, let's save our code and let's run it. So the time is 16 and 18, so we are well between the time. Now let's run the code. Instead of website blocker, I'll write workshop. Okay, workshop.py, and let's press enter. So yeah, it shows working hours. Now let's try to open Facebook. Yeah, so as you can see, this is working perfectly. Our code is working perfectly. uh so yeah, as you can see, our code is working perfectly, and let's try to open biz website also. So you can see that even that is not working. Okay, this website is also not working. Now let's try to uh, change the time here so that our original output comes, right? So 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Okay, so that fun hours get printed. Now let's run the file again. So fun hour gets printed, and now probably these websites will start working again. Okay, so let's try it Facebook. Yeah, so you can see Facebook is opening, and this website, let's try to open that, and that is also opening. So our project is working completely fine. Okay, I was unnecessarily just getting confused why it was not correct. But yeah, it was correct. We just need to, enter one condition due to which it will not be messy like that. So I am in a bit of hurry, so we can skip that condition. But yeah, I'll actually be posting a proper detailed video on this particular project again on my channel. So in a week or so, you will get a video about that in detail again. So in that website, I'll make sure to put a check for that, because I'm getting calls constantly on my phone. I have to leave and be somewhere at 5:30. So yeah, um let's just go on to doubts now, because our project is complete. As you can see, I have showed you the output. The project code is totally here, and put the project link on GitHub and share the link to you all as well. I think I already have this on GitHub also, so one second, let me just check. uh yeah, I do have this on my GitHub, so I can share the link, I guess. Okay, or what you can do is you can just search my profile on GitHub. Okay, github.com/Oberoi, and then you can find this repository, and in this repository you can find this Python file. Okay, so the code is same only. Just there might be little bit difference. The code is almost same, output is correct, so it doesn't really matter, right? So yeah, now I think we can move on to the doubts. So let me just see. I don't think there are much doubts regarding the project, so we can end the meeting right now, I guess. Amitesh. I've put the link for the
Okay,
code in
so
the chat section only, guys. So if you want the link for that, I have put it up in the chat section. Yes, Tanya.
yes, thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invite and sparing your time for helping our viewers with Python basics and working on the project website blocker. It was a pleasure to have you on board, and I'm sure all the attendees got to learn a great deal. And
Yeah.
we'd love to hear from our viewers as well how they liked the session. We also went through the yesterday's feedback form responses, and we are really glad to learn that everyone loved it. Hope for the same for today's session as well.
Yeah, right,
And
exactly. And it was a great honor to be a speaker for GirlScript Punjab, and I'm really glad that you chose me for speaking on Python. And yeah, thank you.
honored to have you, sir. Honored, really. And for the feedback form for today's session, also, guys, I'll be sharing the form link in your WhatsApp group, and you can leave your queries as well. And we'll love to know how you liked our session for today as well. And we can all take a leave now. Thank you so much
All
again.
right, thank you. Thank you all for attending the session.